Starting from Hurghada, I am revealing my 24-hour trip to Cairo with pros and cons, with ups and downs, no filters added. Let's start! We've started our trip from the famous Hurghada at 1 o'clock in the morning. We knew that we will have a long ride till Cairo. There are like 550 kilometers and we've estimated a journey of about 6-7 hours. Well, that was not exactly correct. We took some extra stops to multiple hotels and then started our long ride to Cairo. Luckily enough, I slept the majority of the night. We had just one stop for breakfast and that gave us the opportunity to catch a beautiful sunrise at around 6 o'clock in the morning. Our hopes started to rise as we've seen Cairo signs at about 9 o'clock and from time to time some vegetation or houses. We weren't that fortunate as the arrival took a bit longer than expected as we've met the first particularity of Cairo, the traffic jam. Even though Cairo has multiple lane highway, the traffic was infernal. It took us more than 1 hour to reach our first attraction of the day, the Egyptology Museum. Having my high hopes, all the filming equipment prepared and ready to get out of the bus, I heard the guide announcing that the video is forbidden in the museum and that we need to leave the cameras in the bus to avoid any problems. I had my first shock of the day. Usually I am open for risk, but here in Egypt I knew they were not joking with this. Alright, have left the camera and kept just my phone for pictures, as it seems those were allowed. So I will try to illustrate in a few pictures and sentences my experience in the museum. It has 120,000 items with a representative amount on display and in storerooms. First of all, the guide assured me that every element of the exposition is for real, no copies, just some restorations of some artifacts. There are two main floors in the museum. On the first floor there is an extensive collection of large-scale works in stone including statues, reliefs and architectural elements. These are arranged chronologically in clockwise fashion from the pre-dynastic to the Greco-Roman period. The first floor is dedicated to small works including papyri, coins, textiles and an enormous collection of wooden sarcophagi. On the first floor there are artifacts from the final two dynasties of Egypt as well as many artifacts from the Valley of the Kings, in particular the material from the intact tombs of Tutankhamun and Susenes I. The famous golden mask of the boy king Tutankhamun is synonymous with Egypt's pharaonic past, composed of 11 kilograms of solid gold. I really enjoyed the museum, more valuable than the majority of the European museums I've seen so far. After the museum, we've headed for lunch and then directly to Giza Plateau, where I had my third shock. They didn't let me enter the plateau with the microphone as they thought I am from television. Located about 20 kilometers southwest of modern Cairo, is one of the most important and famous archaeological sites in the world. It is home to the Great Pyramid, the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world still standing. Includes the Great Pyramids of Khufu, Khafre and Menkaure, the Sphinx, several cemeteries and workers' village and an industrial complex. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built for King Khufu, 2589 till 2566 BC, and the other two for Khafre and Menkaure, his son and grandson. Khufu's pyramid is both the oldest and largest of the three. The first building to exceed it in height would not be built for another 3,800 years. Here we've met a lot of Egyptian people that were pushing to take us a photo or ride the camels. We've chosen the ride with the camel. The ride with the camel was fun. They took us till a point where we had a beautiful overview of Giza. Last attraction of the day was the Great Sfinx of Giza. Is a limestone statue of a reclining sphinx, a mythical creature with the head of a man and the body of a lion. Facing directly from west to east, it stands on the Giza Plateau on the west bank of the Nile in Giza, Egypt. The face of the Sphinx appears to represent the pharaoh Khafre. It measures 73 meters long from paw to tail, 20 meters high from the base to the top of the head and 19 meters wide. It is the oldest monument sculpture in Egypt and one of the most recognizable statues in the world. The archaeological evidence suggests that it was created by ancient Egyptians of the Old Kingdom during the reign of Khafre. At the end of the day, we've stopped to a local oil perfume store and a locally crafted cotton store. I heard this is a common practice with all the day trips to Cairo. Overall, the trip was exhausting. I would estimate around 18-19 hours spent in the bus and just 5-6 hours visiting Cairo. It's a must-do experience once in a lifetime, so I was happy that I could cross it over from my bucket list. If I would repeat this experience, probably not, or at least not in these conditions. Next time I would hire a private guide that will allow me to have more time for the pyramids and the surrounding places. Have reached back to our resort around 1 o'clock in the morning, 24 hours later. This was my experience with Cairo. Please share it yours in a comment below and click the subscribe button as my next story for you is called Trip to Luxor.